What would you do if the quiet girl everyone mocked turned out to be the most powerful person in the room? What if the girl they called Poor Bike Girl was secretly the daughter of the richest man in the entire city? And what if the girl who bullied her was hiding a shocking secret of her own? Stay with me until the end, because this story has a twist that will leave you speechless. But before we begin, if you enjoy powerful stories about life, karma, and unexpected twists, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us bring you more incredible stories, just like this one. Now let's begin. The early morning sun shone brightly as a convoy of luxury cars rolled toward the airport entrance. Inside the largest car sat Emily Okocha, a soft-spoken young woman with calm eyes and a gentle demeanor. She had just returned from the United States, where she had spent most of her teenage years studying in an elite boarding school. Her father, Mr. Okocha, one of the wealthiest businessmen in the country, had finally convinced her to return home and continue her education at Gracefield College, a prestigious school known for its wealthy students and powerful families. As the car doors opened, Emily stepped out quietly. But unlike what most people expected from a billionaire's daughter, she wasn't dressed in designer clothes. Instead, she wore simple jeans and a plain white t-shirt. Her braided hair was neatly tied back, and she carried a small backpack. People nearby stared at the line of expensive cars, whispering among themselves. Emily noticed the attention, but she didn't care. She had grown up around wealth, but she had never liked the spotlight. Her father walked over and hugged her warmly. "Welcome home, Emily," he said with a proud smile. "I know Gracefield College will be a good place for you. Just focus on your studies and enjoy yourself." "I will, Dad," Emily replied softly. But Emily had already made an important decision. She didn't want people to treat her differently because of her father's wealth. She wanted to live like a normal student. So instead of arriving at school in a luxury car, Emily decided she would ride a bicycle. The next morning, the massive gates of Gracefield College opened for the new term. Luxury cars lined the entrance as students stepped out wearing expensive outfits and carrying designer bags. Among them was Emily. She quietly parked her bicycle near the gate and walked inside wearing a neatly ironed white shirt and carrying her simple bag. A few students noticed. "Did she really ride a bicycle to school?" a girl whispered, wrinkling her nose. "She must be poor," a boy replied with a small laugh. Emily heard the comments but ignored them. Her father had always told her something she never forgot. "You don't prove your value with money. Your character shows who you truly are." So she walked calmly into class. A few minutes later, a shiny black SUV drove into the school compound. The driver quickly stepped out and opened the door. Out stepped Sophia Obi. She wore a fitted designer outfit, glittering jewelry, and expensive heels that clicked confidently against the pavement. Immediately, students began whispering, "That's the billionaire's daughter. I heard her family donated a whole building to the school." Sophia smiled proudly. She loved attention. She walked into the classroom like a queen, while the other students stared in admiration. Meanwhile, Emily quietly took a seat at the back. While Sophia was surrounded by admirers, Emily opened her notebook and focused on her studies. Within minutes, the entire class had already made up their minds. To them, Sophia was a glamorous billionaire's daughter, and Emily was just a poor girl who rode a bicycle. It didn't take long for Sophia to notice Emily. And to Sophia, Emily's quiet confidence was irritating, so she made her the target of her jokes. One morning in the hallway, she called out loudly, "Hey, bike girl, did your bicycle break down yet? Or do you need a scholarship for a new one?" Students laughed. Emily paused and looked at her calmly. "Good morning to you too, Sophia," she said gently before walking away. Sophia clenched her fists. Emily's calmness made her even more annoyed. Soon, rumors began spreading around school. Sophia told everyone Emily was a poor scholarship student barely surviving at Gracefield. The whispers followed Emily everywhere. But Emily never responded. She simply studied harder. Not everyone believed the rumors. One student began to notice Emily's quiet strength. His name was Alex Okono. Alex was one of the most admired students in the school, handsome, intelligent, and from a wealthy family. But unlike many others, Alex hated arrogance. One day in the cafeteria, Sophia began mocking Emily loudly again. Alex finally spoke. "Sophia, do you ever stop talking about other people?" The room went silent. Then Alex picked up his tray and walked over to Emily. "Hi, Emily," he said kindly. "Mind if I sit here?" Emily smiled softly. "Of course." Sophia watched the moment with burning jealousy. Weeks later, the school hosted its annual charity event. Students competed to show who could donate the most money. Sophia saw it as her moment to shine. She walked confidently onto the stage. "I would like to donate $5 million to the school charity fund." The hall exploded with applause. Students whispered in awe. Sophia returned to her seat proudly. But moments later, the principal spoke again. "Another student has matched this donation, Emily Okocha." The entire hall went silent. Heads turned toward Emily sitting quietly in the back. Sophia's smile froze. "How did she get that money?" someone whispered. Sophia leaned toward her friends and smirked. "Oh, please, she probably got it from Alex." The rumor spread instantly. By the end of the day, students were whispering that Emily had seduced Alex to afford the donation. Emily heard the rumors, but she said nothing. Weeks later, Sophia hosted a grand party at a luxurious mansion. Students admired the expensive furniture, artwork, and massive halls. Sophia proudly claimed it was her family's house. But suddenly, a butler walked into the hall, looking confused. "Miss," he said politely, "under whose authority is this gathering taking place?" Sophia laughed arrogantly. "This is my family's mansion." But moments later, the doors opened again, and two people walked inside, Emily and her father, Mr. Okocha, the real owner of the mansion. The room fell completely silent. Students stared in shock. The truth had finally been revealed. Emily, the quiet bike girl, was the real billionaire's daughter all along. And Sophia was not. Her mother was actually a housekeeper working for the Okocha family. Sophia's lies collapsed instantly. Unable to face the humiliation, she ran from the mansion in tears. From that moment on, everything changed. The students who once admired Sophia now avoided her. Her scholarship was revoked. She was expelled from Gracefield, and the life she built on lies disappeared overnight. Meanwhile, Emily continued living the way she always had, quietly and kindly, because she had never needed wealth to prove who she was. She had something far more valuable: character. And sometimes in life, the people who appear the poorest are actually the richest where it truly matters. And those who pretend to have everything often lose it all. If you enjoyed this story and want more powerful stories like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because the next story might surprise you even more.